Hey guys, Ryan here, and in this multi-part series we're going to be covering how to remaster Skyrim Special Edition by using a combination of high quality and easy to install mods that require no user input, aside from downloading and installing the mod itself. Now, since this is going to be a series aimed at beginners, we're going to be using the Vortex Mod Manager in order to download, install and manage all the mods. Now, just bear in mind you will need to have an active Nexus Mod account in order to download anything from their site. Now, I personally have a premium account, but it's not really required for this particular video. In either case, once you've created your account, you want to download and install Vortex as normal, launch the application for the first time, log in with your Nexus Mod account, and then you should be set. So for this first video, we're going to be focusing on visuals, but unlike several other videos about the same topic that might be available on YouTube and further afield, we're not going to attempt to change Skyrim into another game, but instead we're going to merely enhance the original look and feel of the game. So with that all being said, let's crack on with the mod list. So the first mod on the list is Azurite Weathers and Seasons, which is a mod that overhauls the lighting and weather by introducing new weather, audio, precipitation effects, cloud and night sky textures. So as a result of installing this mod, you'll find that nights are now significantly darker, sunlight is generally brighter, and sneaking effectiveness is now determined by the weather type and how much lighting is available. Now, the mod itself does come with a couple of different versions, however, my recommendation is to stick with the Azurite Weathers 2.0. So to install this mod, it's dead simple. You literally click on the option here where it says Mod Manager Download, which will then start the process of downloading and installing in Vortex. The next mod on the list is Blended Roads, which aims to blend roadstones to ground meshes. Now, if all that sounds a bit technical, basically what this mod does, it makes roads and other similar surfaces look 3D instead of flat like in the original game. A bonus of this is that it now allows other mods to place vegetation on top of the roads. For example, leaves can now fall and be visible, and moss can be found growing in areas around the reach. In other words, the mod blends textures together when it comes to roads. So when it comes to installing the mod, I recommend sticking with the Blended Roads main file, and make sure to enable that patch that supports the Static Mesh Improvement mod. Next up is the Community Shaders mod, which is a collection of post-processing graphic modifications for Skyrim. Now, there are several available that need to be installed separately, but for the best combination that overhauls the lighting system and grass effects, then I would recommend using the following: tree level of detail lighting, grass lighting, grass collision, screen space shadows, water blending, and light limit fix. Now, if you want more information about what each of all these effects do, then simply just click on the mod page and you can find more information from there. One additional mod that I recommend you install alongside the shader mods is the LF Particle Lights Instead of Fake Glow mod, which basically just removes the fake glow effect that can occur when using the light limit fix effect. Now, all of these mods can be installed directly using Vortex, but do bear in mind that the Community Shaders does require you to install the SKSE or the Skyrim Script Extender, and the address library for SKSE plugins to be pre-installed beforehand, but luckily you can install all of these directly using Vortex respectively. So much like the Blended Roads mod, ERM or the Enhanced Rock and Mountain mod provides a more 3D-like texture effects as landscapes, as well as hiding scenes between existing textures by hiding them underneath a new mountain rock rubble texture. Now, the mod itself does have several versions, however I recommend just sticking with the default Enhanced Rock and Mountains file. The next mod on the list is the Fantasia Landscapes mod, which drastically improves the visuals of several landscape objects, including bridges, mountains, caves, cliffs, mines, and snow and ice surfaces. Now, once again, the mod does have several versions ranging from 1K to 4K textures, but my recommendation would be to use the 2K version. The Grass Samplers Fix mod forces grass to now use anisotropic filtering, which in turn makes it look sharper and more lush, which is kind of important when you're going to pair it with other mods that overhaul grass. Now, the mod itself does require SKSE, but again, if you've been using Community Shaders, you've already installed this. Another bug fixing mod, the Landscape Fixes for Grass mods, prevents grass from appearing inside of objects when you're using grass overhaul mods. In other words, if you install a grass overhaul mod, by default you might find that grass is likely to appear inside of outside buildings or campfires in the wild. And really, this mod just simply prevents that from happening. So much like the previous mod, the No Grass in Objects mod, unsurprisingly, prevents grass from now appearing inside of objects such as rocks. Now, this is another mod that requires SKSE and the address library to be pre-installed. In fact, all you need to do is download and install the version of the mod that corresponds to the version of the game you have installed. Next up on the list is Simplicity of Sea, which is a lightweight mod that replaces the existing water textures with something a bit more realistic, and it also makes it so that water now reflects light in a more natural manner. Now, this mod may state that you need to have Cathedral water overhaul and bug fixes installed, but this is not true at all and is completely optional, so just install it as normal using Vortex. The Simplicity of Snow mod fixes some issues with how snow interacts with the game world. More specifically, it removes snow from appearing underneath sheltered buildings, as well as disabling that weird shiny white paint effect when you find snow on surfaces such as rocks. Now, the only requirement for using this mod is that you have the Static Mesh Improvement mod pre-installed, which is handy because we're going to install that mod in this list. Now, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this one, but Skoglendi is a grass mod that massively overhauls the quantity as well as the quality of grass in the game. In fact, it adds in more grass varieties depending on the game's location. So for example, if you're hanging around Whiterun, you'll find that the grass around there is more brown, whereas more forested areas such as Falkreath now have more greener grass. In fact, it pairs very well with the grass-based effects for community shaders and the landscapes and rocks mods we've covered previously. So this is the first of the Skyrim mods in this list. This one is Skyrim All-in-One, and it covers retextures for a wide range of objects including landscapes, buildings, mines, caves, towns and cities, Nordic ruins, standing stone forts and many more. However, when you install this mod, I would recommend choosing the main file, but as part of the installation process, make sure to exclude the option for landscapes, as we've already covered these by the Fantasia Landscape mod. Skyrim Bits and Bobs, which is the companion mod for Skyrim All-in-One, covers all textures that are not touched by the previous mod, so this time we're looking at clutter objects, so things that are typically found in the background of locations, such as furniture, pottery, soul gems, spell tones, bones, books, or even smithing and enchanting tables. Skyrim LOD, or Level of Detail, is basically just a preset designed to work with the previous two mods we've just covered. In short, it really just allows you to see the custom textures from a further distance in-game. So when it comes to lighting mods for Skyrim, there's quite a few available, but to keep with the original aesthetic of the game, then I'd recommend using the Skyrim is Luminous mod, as really this mod keeps the original vision of lighting in-game, and also adds in more sources of light depending on the objects. Now, it does make the game darker in caves and areas that don't have much natural light, but it doesn't fall into a trap where it makes caves completely pitch black, so you can actually play the game as normal and see where you're going. Now, the mod itself does have one download option, but it's incredibly customizable, so you really want to choose the options that best appear to you and your setup. So this is probably the oldest mod that's available on the list. This is the Static Mesh Improvement mod, and really what it does is takes several of the static flat architecture cluster, furniture and landscape objects models that are found in the game, and then replaces them with more 3D models. So this is the penultimate mod on the list, which is Traverse the Olderworld. And honestly, it's one of the best forest mods that I've found available today, and it added 300 new unique tree models based on real trees that are found in Europe, and they all have working animations. Now, if you pair this with a grass mod that we've mentioned earlier, the game now looks amazing, especially in forested areas such as Falkreath and Riften. So the only requirement for using this mod is that the Skyrim unofficial patch is pre-installed, but that should be something that you install regardless of any mod load order. So the final mod on the list is called Twilight, and it's a mod that allows the twilight period to occur, which is the period between dusk and dawn, and this is simulated for all weathers. So in other words, what you'll find is as the sun goes down below the horizon, the game gets progressively darker. Okay then, so that was the mod list, but before we launch the game, we do need to make sure that our load order is correct and that any conflicts have been resolved in Vortex. So Vortex itself does include a tool called Loot, which will arrange an optimal load order for you. However, if you've got multiple mods installed that replace the same texture, then you will be prompted to choose which mod should take precedence. So to resolve these queries, we need to click on the Manage Rules tab at the top of Vortex. Now this will bring up a long list of all the mod conflicts that you potentially have, but in most cases what you'll find is Vortex will offer you a suggested resolution, which either involves loading a mod after or before another one. Now this suggestion will work in about 99% of cases, however sometimes you do need to intervene. So for example, under the Skyrim All-in-One section, you can see that Vortex doesn't know whether to load Skyrim All-in-One before Blended Roads. And likewise, it doesn't know whether to load Static Mesh Improvement mod before Skyrim All-in-One. Now on this occasion, I'd recommend using a load order of Static Mesh Improvement first, Skyrim All-in-One, and then Blended Roads. So as you can see, we've got here, so Skyland is going to load before blended roads. So blended roads overrides Skyland. And it also loads after static mesh improvement. So these conflict files will be written over by Skyland. Now, in case once you're happy with all the suggestions, go down to the bottom and then click save. Okay, so that was all the mods that we're going to cover in this video. So let's jump into some gameplay. And it's just going to be a nice little stroll through Riverwood to Whiterun, showing all the changes to the visual of the game.
To do something.
I said no. No adventures, no theatrics, no...
Yeah, well, I don't know what you overheard, but yeah, we did have a bit of a break. An ornament, solid gold in the shape of a dragon's claw.
You found it?
There it is! Strange. It seems smaller than... I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister.
You handle yourself well. You could make for a decent shield. And outside, an order of warriors. We are brothers, and we show up to solve problems if the coin is good enough. Not for me to say. You'll have to talk to Codlack Whitemane. The old man's got a good set. If you go to him...
Fight with us and you'll have stories. Come up to your master. If you're worth it.
Do you believe all this talk of dragons? Can the Ancient Ones truly have returned?
I wish I could say that I did not. But in every part of Skyrim, there is talk of dragon sightings. It is no coincidence.
Surrender, be merciful.
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords for the Imperial soldiers.
You just can't fill an order that size.
Fresh baked loaves, still warm from the oven.
They say Helgen got hit by a dragon. One of those horrors comes here. We'll be ready.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Okay, so in conclusion, in 2024, the modding scene for Skyrim has never been better, and despite newer releases being released, such as Starfield, people are still loving modding and playing this game even now. Now, I hope you found this video helpful today, and you're going to stick around for the next video in the series, but as always, thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to leave a like, share the video, and also hit that subscribe button to see more content like this very soon in the future. Thanks again, and I'll catch you again next time. Goodbye now.